underneath the cliff, chiseling at the edges, watching Creme slowly fall over the edge. All dramatic and all the drama needed, I guess, in the finishing moments of this split going into regional qualifiers. Obviously, both teams still have that as an insurance policy, but really the race for the Silver Dragon Cup is the main focus on everybody's mind. It is the Zeri yet again going to be locked in for top esports. So we'll see what Weibo's answer is going to be. The Renekton has been so prominent, and especially in the blind picks, and it will be yet again as Breathe will lock that one in.
Interesting, because the Gnar was banned away by top esports, so was actually expected to maybe see 369 resort back to B1 Renekton with a ban onto the Gnar, but it hasn't been the case. Ashe up and available, Misfortune up and available, champions that we don't necessarily see open that often, but very importantly, Tian's Zyra is also up, and it was one of those champions that really brought the game back and stabilized it in game number 2, where top esports grabbed the first W.
Weibo maybe feeling that a little bit, going to take away some of the big wombo combo damage that can come through, and also something that JackeyLove truly awakened himself on the Misfortune. This time Light going to be piloting that one. Maybe some wombo combos coming the way of Weibo themselves. Zyra will be locked in, as well as the Ashe for top esports, and here we go.
So much area of control right here with Ashe, with Zyra. Who dares walk up to those two champions? So much control on the Rift, and the Renekton is not going to have a pretty good time unless Breathe manages to find a good flank later on in the game. Now let's see what the response to the Zeri is right here. The Corki has been taken out, as well as the Lucian. Tristana is up and available, and that was Xiaohu's pick in game number 2, and it is going to be I mean, he solo killed Creme onto that pick. He solo killed JackeyLove as well in game number 2 on the Tristana, and it didn't end up being the case, but
taking a fat L.
You take those. You take those.
He can hold that one, I guess. So we'll see. Another, like, what I find so funny is that both teams are just so willing to throw themselves into this composition. Like, the blind pick Renekton, like, nobody has learned their lessons. Nobody has learned that this might not be the most premier pick. They're just like, no, it's going to work if we make it work. And Weibo this time are going to be on that answering end, at least trying to make it work itself. The Braum Cassante locked away, though, by Weibo themselves. It is the Lilia targeting onto Tarzan's champ pool so far in the second phase for top.
Again, on red side, I like the Renekton a little bit more. You get more avenues to dive. You're a little bit more undiveable to the wall structures. We've talked over it a lot. And 369's Cassante being banned out here means that Breathe is looking for more of an all-in kind of scenario to play that Renekton into. Top esports in game number 2, they had a very similar composition. I'm expecting maybe 369 to again go towards something like the Ornn to set up team fights for his team. You do have the arrow as well from Ashe. If there is a lot of setup, usually teams end up winning in terms of ease of execution, like we saw over in game number 2 for top esports and game number 3 for Weibo.
Isn't nostalgia just so great, Trouble? We're just going back to the classics. We're going back to the Zyra brand that we had known so well, that we had moved away from in a lot of cases for a majority of the split. But here we are yet again, and what a pivotal time to do it. Yeah, we'll see if they want to get some of this late game scaling, but also that zone control that already is so strong for them. And it is the Ornn locked in yet again for top.
This is such a beautiful composition right here from top esports. Very easy. You press your R buttons, you engage, you have so much area of control and so many go buttons, most importantly, as well as pretty much a lot of global presence with the Ashe arrows coming through from JackeyLove all the way from bot lane. Meiko has the chance to go for the Leona or the Rell, whichever one he pleases. It's going to be the Rell this time around. Crisp is going to most likely reply with the Leona. A lot of engage on his side as well. And Weibo Gaming, they have a lot of raw damage in their pockets. A lot of early pressure, a lot of raw damage, a lot of fighting, a lot of brawling power with the Renekton, with the setup from Leona, the brand. They can snowball that early game. It's going to be very difficult for top esports to crawl back out.
But I am terrified if top esports find themselves in a prominent position around these objective fights, and they are in a 5v5, because their go buttons, their tools, they are so much more lethal than Weibo's, and that lack of kind of multiple avenues forward could come back to bite them. So I really like if top esports play this early game a little bit more reserved, as we've seen the teams do so against compositions like Weibo have this time.
100%. The scaling is insane on the side of Top Esports, and we're not just talking raw damage, we're talking about
a bit of revenge against BLG after getting knocked down into the lower bracket. We're on match point for Weibo. Can Top Esports hold off as we get into game number 4? Crowd getting into it. We even got the jerseys out there representing. But it's a lot of pressure, a lot of big names, a lot of big moments in store for us.
Up.
As Meiko tries to go for a little bit of level 1 over the wall there. Just trying to get anything they can. Let's take a look at where these early starts are going to be looking at, because both these junglers have been literally the reason why these early games have been so chaotic a lot of the time in their pathing, the way they go about it.
That was very good awareness right there from Breathe. He could have been holding the tri-brush. However, when you know there's a Rell on the other side and she can literally jump through the walls, if Meiko gets to wrap around there, that becomes a problem for Tarzan if it's not guarded. So great defense right there from Breathe, knowing exactly where the breakpoints are for that level 1 from Top Esports. And no 3 kills. Like in game number 2, it's going to be everyone level 1 with their classic items, couple of pots, first item in the inventory, all very normal, quote unquote, for now.
And that's where you see we get the classic feels of LPL throughout best of 5s, but especially in game 4s and game 5s, we see our teams temper themselves a lot. We'll see if we get that here as Tian. He'll be spotted out going for this one. The 2v2 kicks off in bot side as well. But it actually is Tarzan wrapping around to try to deny the chicken's take by Tian. Though he does have a little bit more onus here with the plants going and some of the vision in the bush there. Tarzan to try to contest him over here and does pull him out. Tian doesn't know he's on the ward.
They're both on the ward trying to exchange blows right there. However, Tian does have the advantage when it comes
from
to
the
HP.
other side.
Slowly but surely, Tarzan will have some HP as well, having that red buff on him as well. So we'll see the 50-50 on the smite. They don't have smite.
No,
they
don't. Yeah, you can't do anything. You're literally just trying to see who gets it down low enough so you can auto-attack it to death. Turns out, though, Top Esports don't want to toss their game on a level 1 or level 2. And we'll end up giving that position back over to Tarzan. It actually delays a little bit of the clearing from Tian as well.
That was a great pressure point, though, because as you can see, Creme was having a lot of priority over in that mid lane, had shoved Xiaohu underneath his tower. They just couldn't quite transition Creme into the jungle since the wave kept pushing in to try and get that 2 versus 1 advantage. However, Tian is not going to have too many troubles. Maybe he'll be about 1 camp behind because he's left the Grump up on the top side of the map because he wants to be matching Branto with that bot side. You want to make sure that when Tarzan transitions towards that bot, there is a reply right there from the Zyra, very, very important. However, best case scenario, when this happens, you want that Zyra under enemy tower. You want to be throwing your first in.
Ooh, JackeyLove. That's going to be flashes coming through from at least both sides. Now JackeyLove getting ran down, and there's a flashback. First blood goes over to Weibo. Now it's going to turn into a 2v3. Heated Blade goes a little bit wide. Tian is right around the corner there, but that's a big strike up from Light.
Oh, that was a great flash follow-up by Crisp as well. You playing Ashe, you're playing a very immobile AD carry. The second your cleanse is blown and your flash, this is going to be very, very difficult to gain control back up in this lane on the bot side, which means Tarzan will have absolute ruling towards that side of the map. And Weibo right here, they're going to use Tarzan's AoE damage to try and pressure out that lane as fast as possible. Make sure that Meiko and JackeyLove don't get to freeze it. Let's watch this one more time. JackeyLove walks a little bit too far forward. Crisp, the Q misses from Meiko as well, very importantly, onto Light. And Crisp literally flashes right into him. Like, the Q is going to come back up. It's not a very long, large cooldown. And the second it does, Light is ready to just flash forward.
As soon as, especially in these really tight 2v2s, as soon as you see those defensive flashes come through, it just feels like the enemy team just bares their fangs and immediately has a way to get in. As we are going to take a look back into the map and into Top Esports' attempts, Breathe will slice his way through 369 to get away from the engage there. The dragon is coming up on the table, but no presence down that side of the map. Both junglers are just going to go back to farming.
A little bit of a quiet moment for now. Again, these bot laners missing summoners are most likely going to be the next targets for both of these junglers. Tarzan, of course, clearing again his top side. He's going to be heading towards that bot side of the map. It's very important because Dragon is up as well. It's going to be The first one will be Infernal. And having priority, having pushed through that bot side, BF sort of already onto Light on this Misfortune. Very much raw damage coming through that Misfortune. If Crisp manages to land an EQ onto someone, you bet they're going to be missing a huge chunk of their HP.
Man, and I feel it in my bones that we're going to go to 5, but I could not imagine the absolute despair on top Esports' side if they do end up falling short here of that redemption run to the Silver Dragon Cup. I mean, obviously, you can still think about internationals, but my goodness, with the run that they had at the end of that regular season and the fact that they kept that run going into the playoffs to make the run to this point, it just feels like BLG might have broken them, and see if they can get back to it.
Tian now pressuring Xiaohu in the mid lane. Does a flash, does have his jump as well. She will be safe for now. And this madman on your screens, he has been going above and beyond in this particular series. He wants the finals, he wants the rematch into BLG. He won't stop Esports to win the finals. He is known for not necessarily performing his best when it comes to high stakes games, when it comes to internationals, when it comes to finals, when it comes to games that really do matter for the team. However, here, he has been performing like an absolute monster. He has kept top Esports afloat, even in the games that they have lost. And right here, he's looking to contest for more void grabs.
Oh, he does actually get the catch out, though, as Tarzan.
That's two.
Will end up not being able to get the couple away, but does end up trying to trade the one right back to him. As it will be the 2-for-1 grubby trade in the top side of the map. But yeah, I mean, going back to the Tian story, like, this is a man who was very emotional about making it to finals, about making it to internationals just last split, and to see that emotion then honed into a weapon this split, like Tian just having one of the best splits of his career, along with a lot of the top esports team of legend. It is really interesting to see that Tarzan really has kind of gotten under his skin this game, and this series at least.
It's kind of like a Disney movie, right? The anger turning into, the sadness turning into anger and using that as your weapon. Creme running into Xiaohu.
Yeah, that's a little dicey there. He does still have the flash to get away. Has the lightning crash. He wants to pop it. Xiaohu pressuring with the vision play there. He's still going to keep Prio in mid lane on the Tristana.
I'm just going to say, I don't know if you want these when you're Creme. You've got pretty bad deja vu right there. Xiaohu in game number 2. He did manage to get that solo kill on the exact same matchup on that mid lane. Tristana very, very good at taking those trades early on onto onto Zeri, which is piloted by Creme in this particular scenario. And as you can see, with Creme losing a big chunk of his HP, Xiaohu right here has the chance to push down that wave. Bot lane is also bundling up a bunch of minions, so Weibo Gaming will be looking definitely for that dragon. Tian has different plans.
Lightning crash out of Creme, trying to go for the preemptive damage there. Xiaohu just going to rocket jump his way out of that one. Also going to dodge out of the Ultra Shock laser there. Vision was around for top esports, but because of that mid lane play, Weibo are going to take the dragon.
It was a very clever turnaround by Tian. Was expecting Xiaohu to shove in that mid lane and probably dip towards that river where Weibo Gaming were starting that dragon. Xiaohu did not fall into this trap. So again, Tian trying to be very, very active on the map, look for opportunities, look for angles to shut down opportunities for Weibo Gaming. Hasn't necessarily been the case yet. Dead even when it comes to CS for both of these junglers. I feel like it's been the name of the game, right? We talked a little bit about Tian, but also Tarzan walking into Weibo Gaming, expecting him to be the big carry, not necessarily working out at the beginning, missing a bunch of smites 50-50. And right now, pretty much holding hands with Crisp, and then being the two moving gears that pushes Weibo Gaming forward, the go buttons for the team, whether it's on carries or facilitators. He has been working great for Weibo Gaming, and those two junglers have been pretty much writing the story for both of these teams this season.
And I think for Weibo moving forward, like, they definitely wanted to have a little bit more of an advantage in these cases, especially in the solo lanes, but their team fight is no slouch, and they'll have a lot of decision-making power in terms of Crisp's entrances into these fights. But it is going to be a testament of now we're getting to the point, okay, we're going to get the flashes out of mid lane. We're getting to the point where top esports are going to get to those first item spikes. Their cohesive team fight comp is very, very strong.
Talking about team comp and how it's strong in terms of team fights and skirmishes, Crisp, oh, he's going to see Creme walk up. But he's already way too far into the teleport, so he's going to take the reset. They want to try and fight for those void grabs. Reminder, 2 of them went over to Tian in the first iteration. Now, I will agree with you, there is a lot of setup, especially on the side of top esports, but they need to get to those item breakpoints first. You've got Ashe and Zeri, they scale very well in terms of damage into the late game, specifically onto Zeri's side as well as Zyra, your AP carry in this particular one. So even though your execution is quote-unquote easier than Weibo Gaming's, Weibo Gaming have the raw early game damage that they need to push you out and pretty much get that question in your head where it's like, how much are you willing to lose until you start bouncing back?
It's one of those situations where even if you look back to a little bit of the track record, and especially for Top Esports against LNG, that was a series where Top Esports adapted their style very much more to be reactive to what LNG were looking for early, and then like past 20 minutes or so, they were just very decisive in turning the games around. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to work against Weibo, as they will end up denying any kind of control from Top Esports around this top side of the map. They're going to go for a play into Xiaohu, though. Top Esports, they actually find the CC lockdown. Oh, he does not get out of the Stranglethorn, and JackeyLove gets the evening kill there for Top, as it will end up being those 4 grubs secured by Weibo. They'll get the spawn of the mic.
Top Esports start getting a little bit active on the map. I wanted to point out that at the point where the Void Grubs were being taken, all 3 lanes from Weibo Gaming were being shoved underneath Top Esports' tower. So it was pure domination on the map. But Chris might find JackeyLove.
Oh, yeah, he's getting in a little bit of trouble. There's a big bullet time there as Chris claims the kill on the Tian. You cannot be getting caught like that.
My apologies, I saw a squishy HP bar. I was like, that's definitely JackeyLove. It wasn't JackeyLove this time around. It was Tian who had just previously blown his flash to make that engage work onto Xiaohu in the mid lane. Meanwhile, 369 is going to take a second turret plating onto this Renekton over in the top side. And again, both teams very, very willing to pull the trigger for any kills on the map. You see champion, you engage champion. I feel like this is why I call Weibo Gaming Top Esports Light. Because even though not as successful as Top Esports, they play a very, very similar playstyle where they're more than willing to pull the trigger at any point. You see, the fact that the arrow is being shot by so far away allows Tian the time to flash forward and get that root as well as the ultimate down, which causes the knock-up, which causes Xiaohu to be interrupted halfway through his jump. That he hit and it didn't. A hit and a miss. But it kills Tian, so who cares?
Yeah, and it's little moments like this that are actually paying such dividends on both sides. I mean, it is a little advantage for Weibo, but things going back and forth like this is so incredibly chaotic and maybe even leans to some of the buying of time that Top Esports want to do. We are getting to those first item spikes. Obviously, the Leandry's already completed for Tian. We also got the response from Tarzan with the same, but more so these 80 carries item spikes, the first items, going to be incredibly important.
JackeyLove is going to take a little while longer until he has his available. Creme should have his first item now in base. 31 more for the call as well to cash that in. And Top Esports are more than aware that they need to play for that late game, right? This is why the call came through from Creme as well. Now, they have taken some control of that river. The next dragon is coming up. If Top Esports manage to secure a dragon or 2 here, they're going to be brimming with happiness. Stopping the stacking right here and also not allowing Weibo Gaming to fight in their own terms. However, if you take this fight, be aware that JackeyLove does not have his first item completed, and Renekton with the Black Cleaver and double AD carry will be able to join the fight as Breathe is on the bot side of the map.
Hey, he does buffer that one at least. He's going to try to go right back into a Buster Shot going to be used.
What?
I think 369 might actually kill Xiaohu here. Yeah, Blast is going to come out for both sides. 369 knows when he's got the angle. Though he does have TP to join the rest of the fight. We got to talk about the setup around the dragon here. Xiaohu also has TP, going to be backing after this, I'm sure.
Okay, let's ignore the fact that Ornn is an assassin, mage, hunter, rogue,
fighter.
as they're TPing in behind Weibo Gaming.
Oh, they actually want to go for this play. Big crash down for Meiko. JackeyLove trying to get there into the damage pit there. No lights going down, though. Tarzan 2 and Top Esports, they were hella decisive. And JackeyLove, he'll survive as well as he burns. The dragon is now in the eyes of Top.
Hold up.
Yo, chill, bro. Chill. Breathe just goes in there 1v4 and kills JackeyLove. He's trying to go for more. He's going to be locked down, though. Can he get another one? Oh, my God. It's Breathe with a 2 kill in the midst of everything for Top.
And during that, Xiaohu had the time to push out top lane and TP back mid, which means it's a free tower for Weibo Gaming right here. Huge teamfight victory for Top Esports, but then he overextends to try and take down the Renekton, and the Renekton bites back. Breathe with a huge double kill stops the Dragon from going down after Top Esports. Take 2 from Weibo Gaming, and now Weibo Gaming get to start stacking again. That'll be the second one of the series, sorry, of the game.
That's really big, and they take it so fast that they can actually try to contest for the Rift Herald if they want to as well. Keeping presence and pressure on the Top Esports is the name of the game right now for Weibo. They want to keep some of the strength they have between the Renekton and the Tristana here. Looks like no contest is going to be the name of the game, though. Tarzan going back to clear his jungle, and this is going to be some standing gold for Top Esports to scoop up.
I just really hope we see the replay from the previous fight, because JackeyLove just flashed in with Ashe as if he was playing Ezreal. That was like a Superman moment with like one fist in front of your face just flying forward, and you're playing Ashe and he just about gets out with his life. But yeah, it's what does the damage, right? Making sure you stick down those auto experimentally slowing and dealing the damage. It's what has made him famous also, diving into the front line, getting those aggressive plays on those AD carries, even the ones that don't seem like they're meant to be diving forward, such as the Ashe. And right here, as you mentioned, the Rift Trail is going to be secured straight into Tian's pocket, but you need to stop the bleeding from the side lanes for Weibo Gaming.
Trying to see what that second item spike, that next window is going to look like. Breathe thinks he's got the all-in on the Creme, realizes he is not alone, and he's just going to go down. Creme claiming another one here, and his second kill on the Zeri. Now 2-0-1, and going to take a side lane turret as well.
Hey, who knew that crocodiles were lactose intolerant? Creme and Tian are gonna take some pretty good pressure over on the side lane. You can even pop the Rift Herald here if you so wish. They just need to make sure that there are no members, but as you can see, Meiko has spotted a bunch of members from Weibo Gaming on that quadrant of the jungle, so definitely you can all pop down the Rift Herald, because you are gonna get wrapped around. Very good spot right here from Meiko. Stops any further advance from Weibo Gaming. Let's watch. Just keep your eyes on the JackeyLove. He misses his arrow right here. He's like, screw it, I'm flashing forward. He hits the volley and then he just dashes forward with his flash to just solidify the deal right there. But that means, of course, he doesn't have the flash right here. Ends up going down to breathe. I mean, they are really chasing a crocodile when they have used majority of their ultimates, and no flash onto JackeyLove means he ends up going down. Meiko tries to stop the advance onto Tian, ends up going down as well, but Breathe has done all his job. Xiaohu's taking mid lane tower, whilst the Dragon is not being started by Top Esports.
Just such value back from seemingly nothing. Huge stuff there. And now we look back on the map. We do have 2 items being completed for majority. More importantly, the rallies completed for Tian as well. They have a ton of slowdown pressure, but Creme is starting to come online here, and it's going to be a battle between him and Xiaohu to see who has more impact.
And I feel like this is the first game we've seen from Creme where he's actually popping off from the very beginning. He had a pretty rough laning phase onto Xiaohu's Tristana, where Xiaohu kept continuously bullying him away underneath his tower, forcing a lot of resets for Creme. However, now that he's been unlocked through his side lane, he can get to farm a little bit more freely. You see that he's impacting the team fights once he has the items, once he has the levels. He's a lot more different, and I feel like we did put the finger onto Creme a little bit at the start of this game. We said, look, Top Esports looked as good because he was rumored to be the best mid laner in the LPL, especially since Knight wasn't having the greatest performances early on in the split. And Creme was performing incredibly well on this marksman, and it kind of fell off, especially through that BLG series coming onto this one, which is so important. Whoever wins here goes up against BLG in the grand finals, and Creme needs to find his form again. Potentially this game could be what brings it back.
Tian's been on form the entire time, waiting for his team to catch up to him, apparently. And in this game, it will be no different. Him on the Zyra has looked like a different beast. And they will spawn this Rift Herald in the mid lane, try to take this outer turret. It is the last one remaining for Weibo.
Weibo right here, they do have a few scattered members around the map. The TP is coming in from both of them.
Okay, we're just going to get fisticuffs drawn here. There's the Wombo combo going a little bit wide. You have to look for light to connect a big bullet time. The last one he had was maybe one of the most lackluster ones I've seen. But Breathe has a flank. Essentially looking to enter into Top Esports' backline. If they overextend over towards this Dragon Pit, Top Esports just going to keep pushing in mid lane. They realize there's not an objective for another 30 seconds here, as now they just go for the engage. Breathe is not here. You have that length of engage now going a little bit wide for Top Esports. Chris tries to go over the wall there, but can't find anything. Top Esports had the mid lane track, though. They're going to take a tier 2.
That's a great response from Top Esports right there, creating pressure through that mid lane because they do not know the whereabouts of the Renekton. They found him.
Breathe wants to force something here. It might be a little bit overzealous, though, as he will just pop the dominance and be rebuffed. There is no outer turret here for Top Esports to return back to. The Dragon coming up, mid lane priority, going the way of Weibo right now.
But look at this threat from Top Esports. If Weibo dips into bot side river, they're going to threaten a Baron. A Baron goes down so fast with double marksman and a Zyra, and they've already started it.
Why not, I guess, as JackeyLove just waiting to go as soon as he gets his arrow back, as well as now just trying to get the engage on Xiaohu. Xiaohu, he's not buffering. Xiaohu's just gone. He had everything available. He literally had everything in the kitchen sink thrown at him by Top Esports, and this is going to be a push for the Baron.
We asked for Meiko to stand up tall alongside his teammate. You said that Tian has been on point. JackeyLove has had a carry performance. Creme is doing better. 369 had an incredible Renekton gaming game number 3. However, Meiko needed to step up. He finds Xiaohu in this fight. Gets that double for his team, and they secure the Baron. A much needed objective right here. Reminder, Top Esports scale so well into this late game. Incredible damage threats through the Zeri and Zyra, but also their opening potential onto the fights. Look at Meiko again, flashes forward, seeing Xiaohu doesn't give him a slither of reaction right there. Chris ends up going down, trying to defend him, and the rest, well, you've seen it on your screen. Purple Worm already on the side of Top Esports. Consolation prize, we did have Weibo Gaming grab that soul point for themselves, but it's going to be a very small prize to get if Top Esports manage to finish through that Baron.
And I'm just going to say, maybe I'm malding a little bit, but can we just stop picking Tristana? I love these guys as much as anybody else. The Tristana this series has not been it on either side, and I very much want to see a little bit of mid-lane adaptation away from that pick, as now Xiaohu very down in the dumps, still has the side lane pressure with those 4 grubs if he's going to find anything of promise, but you're almost on 3 items for Creme now, and we've seen what this Zeri can do.
Also, you've got ornaments coming through from 369, already the Kraken Slayer update upgraded for JackeyLove. And they're going to use this Baron to pretty much march down every single lane, even though Xiaohu is on the side. If 369 has Baroned up minions, it's going to be so much difficult for Xiaohu to push down these lanes to become a threat if there's someone there to instantly reply. Now for Top Esports, there is one remaining tower on the top side of the map, which is where 369 has been guiding those minions to. And they're gonna take that last outer tower remaining for Weibo Gaming. Now, this is gonna become difficult. We said Weibo Gaming are on soul point, but how do you walk out?
Yeah.
To get there if all the vision's been gone?
This is a classic Top Esports experience where literally the game was in Weibo's favor, about 2,000 gold, the advantage. Top Esports take one thing, and then all of a sudden you're down like 6,000, 7,000 gold to them, and they can just take that advantage and move forward. They are trying to do that now. They still have the Baron buff for another minute or so. Creme maybe getting collapsed on, gonna get the flash plays out from both Breathe and Creme. Although Top Esports can just continue moving forward as they have another wave crash. That's going to be the Enchanted Crystal Arrow with everything layered on top of the bullet time coming away. Does mean that Top Esports can't really follow through on that one, but Creme can do serious damage to the turret here. He's getting hit himself. Doesn't matter though. They've got everything here. That inhib turret is not long.
Huge crucial ultimates missing from the side of Weibo Gaming. I'd love to see 369 just use his ultimate right here to zone away everyone, or even try to start a fight, find a pick. We've seen so many times Ornn ult, Maokai ult used simply as zoning tools, but Tarzan using the last available ultimate on the side of Weibo Gaming to try and push away Top Esports. Obviously, we'll be more than fine with that. They take all the gold from all the other towers falling. They'll take the gold from the mid lane tier 3 falling as well. Cash it into their pockets, get more items, more control wards, and then go again.
Speaking of, they all got to complete an item pretty much. As we get the Warmogs complete for Meiko, but more importantly, the Shield Bow and the Bloodthirst are completed for Creme and JackeyLove, respectively. And we're getting back onto the map. Look at all that vision. Look at all the blue wards on this top side of the map. And Top Esports maybe adapting some of that through this mid lane push.
Taking control of the mid lane, as you mentioned, but also towards that bot side of the map, 1.5 minutes until the next dragon is going to be sold for Weibo Gaming. Now, one saving grace right here, very small saving grace on that 8,000 gold lead that Top Esports has over them, is that they can choose to drop the dragon. It's not necessarily the end of all, if they just can't try to get to those item breakpoints for their champions. They're going to be stuck in their base. They don't have a lot of face check potential with the champions that they have on the sort of Weibo, so their last saving grace right here is Top Esports potentially overextending. You can try to get a pick on a side lane for Weibo, but it's looking pretty grim. And they are stuck into their base, and TES are just marching into it.
They're just going to try to move in and take this inhib here. Give a little bit more pressure in the mid lane with those super minions spawning. There is the dragon coming up about 45 seconds as well. As you said, maybe Weibo just willing to give that one up here.
Xiaohu just TP'd away. He was so scared of the threat from 369 and potentially another member from Top Esports that he TP'd away in the base.
Oh, breathe. Oh, he dodges out of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, though. You see how much sticking power Creme has, though, on the back end of those trades.
I mean, the composition from the side of Top Esports is elite at this point. They have so much chase ability, they've got so much area of effect ability, they've got so much control of area ability, CC, engage, disengage, damage distribution. It's literally one of those compositions that you definitely want to be having every single time, because it's just so easy to execute and play through. And as you can see, all the lanes have pretty much done what they needed to do. Mid, bot, ahead in gold, neutralized top lane with the Ornn. This is why this champion is picked. That was your Cassante before Cassante, ladies and gentlemen. This was the guy that would neutralize a lane and every now and then also kill you as a full tank, which a lot of people did not expect. But that is the nature of the champion, and most of all, one of the best non-committal engage tools in the Legends Ultimate.
It's just a little things that maybe lend towards Weibo having some advantages, but then you look at everything going right for Top Esports in a lot of ways. And this was, again, a little bit of a semblance of what we have come to expect from Top Esports. Even though they were a little bit at the disadvantage early, they had a very easily executable composition. They kind of knew what their strengths were around that. Now, speaking of knowing their strengths, they know that Zyra takes the Baron very quickly, and they can force Weibo's hand.
I feel like Weibo Gaming might be putting their last efforts right here. They're pulling Breathe back. As you can see, he's going back. He's going to go back to base. He's ready for the TP. Now that Weibo has pulled a little bit further back, you see that Breathe is kind of walking in. He might even make his way over there, trying to take some control of the jungle. This Renekton is looking to TP somewhere. However, there is one TP behind enemy lines.
Oh no, they were fading them the whole time. Xiaohu's gone. He has flash again. I don't know how many times this game we've seen that go down, but it is Top Esports that claim a double kill for JackeyLove and are going to go right back to the Baron.
Yeah, we mentioned it's very difficult to face check if you're Weibo Gaming. It's pretty much just crisp. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god.
7, 8. Who do we appreciate? Tian. No,
you know what? I was about to make a joke for the 5, 6, 7 in terms of Weibo's finishes in the past LPL splits, but I will not do it here because they've been putting up a pretty good fight into Top Esports. It is looking like a game number 5 though, as Top Esports are marching in with their Baron.
Really triumphant to see Top Esports rise to the occasion and a series that we expect to go the distance. Top Esports now on the leading edge of that here, as Weibo will try to get them out of their base. They do lose that top inhib, so it'll be 2 inhibs gained by Top Esports.
They've got a bit of money, I would say, in their inventories. As you can see, Branduin's completed for 369. Tian gets to complete his hourglass as well. So lots of items completed for the side of Top Esports that are going to be very important for pushing in. He had about 7 plants in this bar pit from what I could count. That's why the bar went down so quickly. But right there, again, Xiaohu has no business face checking. It happened over in game number 2 at the exact same spot in game number 2. And him going down means that a lot of damage goes down with him for the side of Weibo Gaming. Of course, not that they have a lot left with the current gold deficit that they're sitting in. I feel like this is pretty much a done deal for Top Esports. They are taking it slow. They're making sure that they've got their items, they've got their summoners, they have all gone back, bought control wards in their inventories, pushing the waves, crashing them at the same time. You see JackeyLove is guiding the bot lane wave. to come in. Meiko pushing a little bit far forward. You need that threat, of course, when Creme is all the way pushed up in that mid lane, but now the wave is here.
When you're in a pivotal moment like this, you do take your time. You savor the moment. In top esports, they're savoring this one. They have a giant lead, and they are pushing it into Weibo. They realize they sense those silver scrapes right on the edge. Has now breathed. He's just going to go in there. He's just trying to find something, but now we know Weibo's position is going to be one of being put into a 5-game series. Top esports, we ask, can they redeem themselves? As now they're going to try to find the engage on Xiaohu. Top esports, they're a bit split here. Chris goes for the engage now. 369 finds Tarzan. First Nexus tower falls. Top esports realize they can just go for the game. Lights going down. Xiaohu, the only one left. He might get it. Look at the resets. He wants it. Is he shut down here though? He goes in and dies in the face of Weibo. That's going to be big as top esports, they did end up taking all the inhibs, all the Nexus turrets, but Weibo survive.
Weibo Gaming are going to have to defend their base with their bodies. Is TPing back in?
Oh, we're going to game 5 in the star-studded sky of this series. You got to aim for the top and on to silver scrapes and on to game number 5.
Whew. Top esports getting a little bit too confident, and why wouldn't you be? You're 10,000 gold up. There is no Nexus towers or any towers defending Weibo Gaming for that matter. They scattered just a little bit. Their damage was split, and I could just see Xiaohu getting pretty much a pentakill right there, an incredible buster shot, but that was pretty much his whole game. He was pretty much invisible. He was put into the dirt by top esports, and I feel like this composition just had so many tools they could work with. We saw it in game number 3 from Weibo Gaming, and now in game number 4 from top esports. The more tools you've got to engage the fights, make those skirmishes happen, it seems like the easier the execution is later on the game goes.
I am so flabbergasted that Renekton and Tristana continue to be picked and continue to hold those fat L's every single time. We'll see what game 5 has in store for us, but now get those speakers ready.